Fractal chart analysis for the 3rd of December. We can see that the price has dropped below the EMA ribbon, and people are worried that this means it will go much lower. I'd like to point out that if we go back in the chart to the last time we had a large parabolic bull run and an all-time high. So if we go back to this peak here, which was on the 25th of November 2013, we can see here that we had this peak where I put the yellow line, we dropped through the ribbon, we came back up, we dropped through it again and then stayed below it where I put this red line. So we've dropped through decisively below, stayed below it for about 280 days, then we passed decisively back up into the ribbon, only to then drop below it again, and then the next time we entered the ribbon, we then went on our next parabolic bull run. So if we were to compare that to now, we could mark this all-time high on the December 2017 all-time high. We dropped decisively below here, so that would be comparable to this drop. We then stayed below it for about 300 days, that would be comparable to this bit. We then decisively passed back up into the ribbon, which would be comparable to this bit. It is slightly different here that we then went straight through it and we kind of overshot the mark and stayed above it. But either way, I still think that this all-time high followed by this dropping below the ribbon for about 300 days is extremely similar to what happened back here. All-time high, dropped below the ribbon for about 300 days, then passed back up through it. Here we passed back up through it, and then the next time it dropped through it, just zoom in a bit, the next time we dropped through the ribbon after the all-time high, we then stayed, this is the weekly chart by the way, so we then stayed below it for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks, and then we kind of started this parabolic run after about 5 weeks of doing this big drop below the ribbon, including the week we dropped. So that'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. After 8 weeks we crossed back over it, and then we stayed up above it all the way up to 20,000. So you could even argue that we started the parabolic move just the next week where this doji crosses. But for argument's sake, I'll say, okay, we dropped below it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, say 8 weeks. We then we then crossed back into it. So we could compare that to now. We could say we decisively dropped through it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, maybe 8 weeks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, so who knows, maybe around 30th of December, just perfectly at the end of the year, we may see the price move back into the ribbon, and that may then be the start of a nice long bull run. So we'll see.